Front page of the Sun newspaper, royal exclusive, Fergie time. Sarah Ferguson, formerly the Duchess of York, of course, is considering offers for a tell-all TV interview in the wake of her public downfall over links to sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. US channels.
Today's story drags us deep into one of the most tangled royal entanglements this channel has ever dared to unravel. For years, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and Sarah Ferguson have existed as the most baffling duo in the monarchy's sprawling history. Not simply because their 80s theatrics made headlines, though they certainly shook the tabloids. Not merely because their divorce scorched its way across the front pages, though it undeniably did. No, what made them truly mystifying was the bizarre afterlife of their marriage. Long after the vows were broken, their connection refused to die. Behind the ancient walls of Royal Lodge, they forged an existence that resembled a quiet, continuing union more than a fractured past. They even laughed about it, calling themselves the happiest divorced pair in Britain. They traveled side by side, shared dinners like old confidants, and co-parented their daughters as if the split never happened. When Andrew's controversies began to erupt like storms, Sarah didn't run. She stayed stubbornly loyal. And when Sarah's own troubles surfaced, Andrew acted as her shield. But now, that strange unity is reportedly cracking apart. Rumors whisper of battles behind locked doors, traded accusations, and loyalties snapping under pressure. And the timing couldn't be more disastrous, because both of them are standing at the edge of the most intense scrutiny they've ever faced. To make this unraveling even more uncomfortable, this implosion is unfolding just as Andrew and Fergie prepare to re-emerge before the public, stepping into the spotlight for the first time since their royal titles were stripped away.
Are said to be willing to pay six-figure sums to secure the chat with the former Duchess of York. It would evoke memories of her ex-husband Andrew Mountbatten's Windsor car crash Newsnight interview. A source told The Sun Andrew's had his chance to tell his story. Now it's Fergie's time. This could be a major headache for the king, couldn't it, Paul?
Their granddaughter Athena is set to be christened at St. James's Palace. What should have been a quiet moment of joy, an intimate family blessing, is now spiraling into what insiders are calling a royal standoff. A celebration overshadowed by tension. A gathering that feels less like unity and more like a powder keg waiting for a spark. So today, we're peeling back the layers. We're examining what triggered this abrupt collapse, what palace sources claim is happening behind closed doors, why biographer Andrew Lowy is openly speaking about the possibility of prison time, and how this christening might expose the true condition of Andrew and Sarah's once inseparable alliance. Let's rewind to where it all began. Their bond, as bizarre as it looked from the outside, was rooted in a real and lasting warmth. They married in 1986, and their wedding felt almost cinematic, light, laughter, and a nation cheering them on. They welcomed two daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, who stayed fiercely loyal to both parents through every upheaval. Even after their 1996 divorce, they slipped back into a shared life as if the marriage had never actually dissolved. To modern ears, the setup sounds unreal. But back then, it worked, strangely, seamlessly. They lived under one roof at Royal Lodge for decades. They vacationed together. They turned up at events side by side. Sarah often called Andrew her closest confidant. When her finances collapsed, he supported her. And when Andrew's public world imploded following the 2019 Epstein interview, she became one of the only people who didn't abandon him, standing firm while everyone else backed away.
Well, the whole thing about Dutch and I is that we met when I was 16, she was 14. So we've known each other a very long time, and she had the quickest wit. That's what the thing. Anyway, I think you're referring to our hen night, are you? But
Yeah.
That's why this latest allegation detonated like a bomb. Whatever unity once held them together has evaporated. Sources say Sarah is quietly telling confidants that Andrew pressured her years ago to contact Jeffrey Epstein for financial relief. She believes she's now being dragged through the fallout of decisions she never wanted to own, forced to answer for choices she claims were his, not hers. Andrew, however, is spinning an entirely different narrative. He's reportedly insisting she initiated everything, that she sought the money, that she was the one who found their lifestyle insufficient and spent far beyond their means. It's a stunning contrast to the pair who once spent Christmas under the same roof, shared their beloved dogs, and chose companionship long after their marriage dissolved. But none of this is happening in isolation. Sarah did accept Epstein's money, and leaked correspondence exposed a chilling contradiction. After publicly condemning him, she apologized in private. She spent years dodging the subject, burying it under charm and reinvention. But the past has resurfaced, and this time the consequences are far more brutal. And Andrew? He's standing in yet another storm. This scandal isn't limited to his Epstein ties anymore. Royal biographer Andrew Lowy has begun speaking openly, almost coldly, about the legal danger Andrew may soon face. His warnings aren't vague or cautious. They're stark.
I think there are pictures of our headlight. And so we had Elton John's wife at the time, Renata. We had Pamela Stevenson, Billy Connolly's wife, myself, Diana, and they all thought it was a really good idea to dress as policewomen.
He warned that Andrew could face charges for misconduct in public office and for a series of alleged financial abuses tied to his role as a trade envoy. Reports claim Andrew indulged in luxury suites, extravagant add-ons, and even used taxpayer funds to finance personal comforts. And in a stunning allegation, Lowy stated that Andrew paid for escorts while acting as an official representative of Britain abroad. According to him, the case against Andrew is, his exact phrasing, undeniably clear. He added that Andrew's biggest legal threat isn't the Epstein fallout, but the possibility of prosecution for financial corruption. It's a staggering downfall for a man who, not long ago, enjoyed layers of royal protection and held multiple honorary titles. Those shields are gone. The defenses have crumbled. And to make matters worse, the Metropolitan Police have reportedly examined claims that Andrew deployed a protection officer to probe into Virginia Giuffre, an accusation that drags yet another shadow across his already collapsing defenses. One palace insider described Andrew's reality in a single word: dangerous. Without the buffer of royalty, he stands exposed. They said he's fragile right now, wide open, and should already be surrounded by lawyers. And this is exactly where the fracture between Andrew and Sarah begins to make sense. When the walls start closing in, survival instincts take over. Lowy has also hinted that Fergie herself could be facing legal risks, alleging she may have funneled charitable involvement into personal financial gain. Nothing is confirmed, but even the whisper of such a scandal is enough to ignite panic. So now, a relationship that once seemed strangely unbreakable is showing unmistakable cracks, and those fractures lead us directly to the christening.
I mean, why not? Why not? So we did. So off we go, and it's really good. Imagine everyone had really made an effort. We get into the taxi, go into Berkeley Square, go into Annabelle's nightclub, thinking it's fine, we're dressed as policewomen.
According to the Daily Mail, Princess Beatrice is organizing the baptism of her daughter Athena at the Chapel Royal inside St. James's Palace. This location is not chosen lightly. It is historic, intimate, and used for important family ceremonies. But the guest list has caused anxiety. Andrew and Sarah will both attend. This is their first appearance at a royal event since being stripped of their titles and since their exile from public life. And according to sources, guests are uneasy about it. A source told the Mail that people are dreading the moment Andrew walks into the chapel. Beatrice herself has a strange relationship with her father at the moment. Although she still feels compassion for him, Beatrice has invited him because she knows he adores his grandchildren. She does not want to punish him by excluding him. But she is aware that his presence creates tension, and she is doing everything she can to keep the focus on her daughter. Andrew will apparently be filmed traveling to and from Royal Lodge, but not at the chapel. There will likely not be any public photos of him stepping inside or standing outside. He is to remain out of view, which already tells you everything about how delicate this situation is. Sarah is attending as well. She is currently looking for a new house in the Windsor area because, as we know, she cannot remain at Royal Lodge.
Go down the steps and they say, "Excuse me, this is a fun club. We know this is where people are doing what they want. Please, could you leave?" They believed we were policewomen. And then we got up the stairs, and Dutch came up the stairs and she went, Fergie, that woman is wearing my dress."
Reports say she has looked at multiple properties, but no final decision has been made. This also adds pressure because she is navigating her own future while dealing with their shared crisis. The overall mood between Andrew and Sarah is said to be quite cold. So, they may arrive separately and they may avoid standing together. They may say very little to each other, or they may try to maintain composure for the sake of the cameras and their grandchildren. But the warmth people once expected from them is no longer guaranteed. This christening could be a turning point, because for decades their closeness was part of their identity. People saw them as a team, and even when they were criticized, they stood alongside each other. Now that image is broken. If they don't appear united at the christening, or if their distance is clear to those inside the chapel, it will confirm what insiders have been saying. The partnership is over. The palace appears to have stepped back from it all. There is no shielding, and their guidance and support has all but disappeared.
I said, "No, Dutch, you are a policewoman. You cannot say that. Walk on." And we were, in fact, arrested. Yeah, we were.
Were you really?
Yes, we were, yeah, for impersonating police. You couldn't write it.
And then they realised who you were and they released you.
Yeah, they did. quite quickly. I think it was either before or after she'd eaten his smoky bacon crisp.
Andrew is dealing with the fallout alone, and Fergie is dealing with her own problems. The family is trying to keep the ceremony focused on baby Athena, not on the adults who used to dominate the spotlight after years of poor decision-making. And that may be for the best, because the coming year will be difficult. Andrew could face charges. Sarah could face investigations. The Epstein files will release more material later this month. There may be new allegations, new documents, and new fallout. If they're already cold and blaming each other, the tension could deepen. Their long-standing arrangement at Royal Lodge is finished. Their legal situations are separate. Their reputations are separate. Most likely, their futures will be too. What do you think about their relationship? Are they done for good? Or will they continue supporting one another and put on a united front? Do you think Andrew will face charges? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more royal updates every week, remember to subscribe so you never miss a story.